Is of course time cut because it's so common, and in a minute we're going to talk a little bit about that and give you a strategy for dealing with that. Next, we're talking about disengaged executives, where they get on their cell phone. Excuse me, miss, excuse me just a second. Excuse me. Are you taking a call in the middle of my presentation? You're just walking out?
Yeah.
Excuse me, let me see what you've got there. Oh, that's great. That looks like a good iPhone. Nice phone. Now, would you mind sitting down and paying attention to this presentation? Do you think that was staged? So along with all of this nonsense about what pairing you should have with your wine and your food and all the pairing, is this total nonsense about what kind of glass to put your wine in. You know, like you want this big glass like this so that the aroma comes up through the top. Are you kidding me? Who cares? All you need is a cup to drink your wine out of. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these glasses. You know, here's the tall glass. We don't need it. We don't need that. Here's another tall glass. How about this? Looks like a martini glass. Who needs it? Here's a little glass. And oh, here's our big glass. These beautiful red cups. That's all you need to enjoy your wine. Is just what's the answer to my interest in all this public speaking stuff? Is it nature or nurture? Was I born with it? Well, I don't know the answer to that question, but in the first grade, we had a Christmas play, and I was the star. And I had these little wings like this, and I remember looking out in the audience, and there were all the teachers and all the parents. The room was full, and they had this birdhouse made out of cardboard, and I was the first out on the stage, first grade. So I come out like this, and my little wings hit the side of the cardboard birdhouse, and the whole birdhouse goes crashing down. You know, and everybody's laughing and having a good time, and I thought it was pretty funny too. So I back up, they close the curtain, they put the birdhouse back up, and then I came out like this. And you know, ever since, I've liked being on stage. There's a very good friend of mine that was at Hillside School with me, named Donna Mae Smith Powers. She's here. Where are you, Donna? Right here. And so I met Donna. I mean, we knew each other all the way through school. And then we had our 20-year high school reunion. And after a couple of glasses of wine, Donna comes up to me and she says, "You know, Rick, I never liked you." She said, "You were a show-off." Donna, some things never change. Look what we're doing. A friend of mine had two boys, one 9 and one 10. They're driving around the family deal, and the boys are in the back seat, and they're giggling. And the mother says, "What are you guys giggling about?" She has a feeling that it has to do with sex, but not too sure. So the boys are saying, "Well, no," and they're giggling and giggling. And the mother finally says, "Come on, what is it? What is it you guys are laughing about?" And finally the older guy says, "Okay, we know what a BJ is. We know what a BJ is." And the mother says, "Okay, what is it?" "Vagina." And my job was, I was manager of employee communications. And our job was to publish a monthly newsletter that they sent out worldwide. It was called The Update. So I wanted to figure out a way to make this more interesting. So I started having lunch with people from other companies that had my same job. And I took this woman out to lunch from Intel. And she said, "The most successful magazine we've ever had is our April Fool's edition." Well, that sounds interesting. I went to my HR people, first my boss and then HR, said, "Do you think we could do this?" Well, HR was a little bit nervous about it. They said, "Well, okay, maybe." And so we started putting this thing together, and we started working on this, brainstorming. And the first thing we tried to figure out is what should be the name of it. You know, it's called The Update. We thought The Upchuck would be good. and that one got overruled. And we ended up with The Uptight. And here's a vice president with his feet up on the desk watching TV and a pizza, And he said, life in the slow lane. And so I got these different departments wrote articles for our April Fool's edition. And I had engineering people came up, this was really cool. Engineering came up with how a computer works. And you know, it's a Rube Goldberg thing, and in the middle is a crystal ball, and in the middle of the crystal ball it says ESP. So I mean, there were some great. I came up with one that I was particularly happy. This is why is it that executives never use the workout center? They never go to the gym. Well, the problem is that they're embarrassed to be seen in their leotards, right? So I wore my business suit, including a vest, with my briefcase. The people in HR were getting more and more nervous. Well, we don't want our customers to think that computers work with ESP, really? I said, Jesus Christ, folks, this is a joke. This is what we call April Fools. So chicken, so afraid up there that they're going to get sued or something. So he wrote for Phyllis Diller. And Phyllis Diller was opening in Las Vegas, and she had broken her arm. And she calls this guy like an hour before she goes on. She says, Gene, I need an opening line. Now, she had broken her arm badly. So it was one of these casts that goes, and a big stick, you know, like this, really tough. And so she comes out, her opening line, designed by Gene Perret, was, I'm sure you're all familiar with the book, The Joy of Sex. On page 153, there's a terrible misprint.
Hello, everybody. I am Zig Henry. Are we having fun yet? I hope so, because we're here to pump up your positive mental attitude, expand your creative visualization. I am to show you sure is going to make you rich and famous. How do you like the sound of that?
This was years ago when I was still trying to get, speaking gigs. And there was a little panel of meeting planners and about 20 speakers. And I came a little bit late. And over in the corner, it was a hot day, and over in the corner they had water. So I reached over and I grabbed Crystal Geyser, and I sat down, took my seat. I was up next. But I didn't realize the Crystal Geyser that I had, it was a sparkling water. You're ahead of me here, aren't you? So I opened it up and it goes, I said, oh, this is a creative opportunity. So I was on next. My opening line. People often ask me if I get nervous before a talk. Now these hot dogs, you boil them first so they're basically cooked all throughout. And then you put them in your pan. This will be your serving pan. And when you're ready to serve, when everything's ready, when you have your peas and your creamed onions and you're ready to go, then you light them on fire and you bring them to the table on fire. These chefs are professionals. Do not try this at home. You have your hot dogs and you're ready to light them up. Look at that, folks. Those are flaming hot dogs. You ask your friends, have they ever had a dish like this? The answer will be no, because they are so special. You only hear about them at Chef Rick's. Unbelievable. You bring these into the table when you have a dinner party and people are going to be amazed. Oh, look at that. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, still on fire on the plate.
Fire.
Whoa.
Wow. In the finest French restaurants, I would never find cuisine like this.
You will never find cuisine like this in a fine French restaurant, let me guarantee you. And so what do you pair with chien flambé? It turns out It's a rosé.
A rosé.
A rosé. What do you do if you want to make a rosé on the run? It's clear to me that you mix a red and a white. So what we're going to do is take our Sutter Home red wine and our Sutter Home white wine, and what are we going to do? You got it. We're going to make our very own rosé. There we are, folks. There is our Sutter Home rosé. Well, I desperately wanted my cataracts done. Now, in order to do this, you have to go through a whole bunch of training. I mean, I'm sure they can chop your leg off and not have to go through all this stuff. I had to go see a movie. I had to be in a group process thing, and there was a nurse and a doctor, and I had to see the surgeon and several other nurses. By the time I got ready, I hadn't even had the surgery yet on my left eye. So the last nurse I was talking to, I was sort of fed up with it. I said, you know, I'm pretty nervous about this procedure. Why? We've done thousands of them. It's very safe. Yeah, I know, but this image keeps haunting me. Really? What's that? Well, I imagine that you have me on the table and my head is in a vise like this. I'm looking up, you know, and you've got my eyeball propped open like this, and the surgeon has popped out my lens, and then guess what happens? We have our 8.5 15-second earthquake, and the joint's going like this, and ceiling tiles are falling. You guys are running for cover, leaving me on the table. And I'm sitting there saying, oh shit, if I sit up, the vitreous humor in my eyeball is going to roll out, and my eyeball is going to collapse on itself. My, you certainly can go to the dark side. And one of the things I've noticed is when I have procedures, they really want to make sure that everything's on the up and up and that there's no confusion. So I walk in and I've got this band, this wristband, right? Big old thing, maybe orange or something, pink. All right, you're Frederick Gilbert. Is that Frederick Gilbert? Have I got that right? Frederick Gilbert. And we're doing your right cataract. We're not cutting off your left leg. Is that right? Yes. Right cataract, not left leg, Frederick Gilbert. And you go to the next room. Now, you're Frederick Gilbert. It goes on and on. Well, I got tired of all that. It's so stupid. It's just for the lawyers, you know. So when I had my right eye done, right before I left the house for this surgery, I took some eyebrow pencil to make it easier for me.
I think for this combination, what we would need is the Sutter Home Chardonnay. But Chef Rick, I'm so discouraged because when I go to the store, I find these little bottles of Sutter Home, and I was hoping maybe a bigger bottle. Does such a thing exist?
You bet it does. Chef John, I'm happy to show you this 1/5 bottle of Sutter Home Chardonnay. It is a beauty.
It has a gold label.
Absolutely. Since we're some heavy drinkers, and this meal is really going to last for a few hours, we need some really good glass to drink it in. So we need a serious glass to drink this wine in. So let's just pour this Sutter Home into our great big old...
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Man, that's going to last us for, what, at least a couple hours?
Yeah, I would say.
Oh, what a beauty. Love that sound. Well, the deal here is that my doctor said I should have just one glass of wine a day, you know, for my heart. So let me show you how this works, John. You can't beat it. Okay, Chef John, are you ready for a little sip out of our big glass? Or...
Well, I'm ready, and I would love to do it, Chef Rick. But I recently had shoulder surgery.
No.
So I did, and to be able to pick up that glass, I'm not sure I could do it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You know, I'm recovering, but there's still some residual issues.
Is this shoulder here?
Yeah, it's that shoulder.
How does it feel?
Well, oh!
John! Oh my God! Oh, are you okay?
Oh!
Do we need to go to the hospital?
No, what I think I need is some Sutter Home Chardonnay.
In a small bottle.
Yeah, I could probably get that one down.